I felt like last year maybe we were surprised when maybe a better team came along because we weren't prepared. So this year I don't think you're going to have to say that. I think we're going to say, hey, we've played these good teams before, so we're not going to go anywhere, not be prepared. So I think it's gone well.
Joining us this morning, the head coach of the Bullard Panthers baseball team, Chad Sherman. What's up, Coach? How you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
I'm doing fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about this. Well, first off, before we get into this season, I know you were hired a couple of years ago as the head baseball coach. Last year was your first full year with the Panthers. This year in your second year. Talk to me a little bit about how this experience has been as being the head coach of the Bullard Panthers.
Bill Dickinson Chevrolet is making car buying easy with employee pricing. That's right, employee pricing available only at Bill Dickinson Chevrolet or online at bdchevy.com. Log on to bdchevy.com and then go visit them in Gladewater, Texas, where you can work with a non-commissioned salesperson. With their transparent sales process and non-commissioned salespeople, Bill Dickinson Chevrolet is saving East Texans thousands, one deal at a time. BD Chevy has something for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's been a lot different. I used to be a college baseball coach. Obviously, that's a little different than high school. So getting used to, as you can see, I'm in my room, getting used to the teaching aspect of it, the different rules, the different guidelines for practices is obviously it's quite a bit different. But it's been great. I mean, I'm from here. I grew up here. I played here, so it's cool to coach where I grew up. So. Like I said, it's been a lot of change, a lot different than what I'm used to, but it's been a great experience so far. So no complaints.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to say you're a graduate of Bullard High School. So how different are the halls now from when you were at school to now?
There's more halls. There's a lot more people. I want to say, unfortunately, this is going to be my 20th reunion this year. So it's been 20 years since I graduated, and Bullard has doubled in size for sure. So it's the same building, just a little more building at the end, and a few more hallways and a lot more kids. So, but other than that, it feels the same as it was when I was here. So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, let's talk a little baseball now. Let's talk about this season so far. I believe a 10-5 overall record, and according to Texas High School Baseball, their rankings 10th in the state in 4A. So, and just got a big win in the Battle of Bullard on Tuesday against Brook Hill, 7-4. Yeah. So, talk to me a little bit about this season and how you think this season's gone so far.
Yeah, I mean, we've done well. I mean, 10-5 to some people may just seem kind of okay, but for us, I mean, we stacked the schedule. We've played. Everybody has been 6A, 5A, or a ranked 4A or a ranked private school. So played some schools that are bigger, played some really good baseball programs. So overall, I think I told the guys I'm very happy where we're at. We start district play tonight, so they're going to be prepared. That was the point. That was to get them ready for. The different competition, the different arms, and just no surprises are going to happen. I felt like last year maybe we were surprised when maybe a better team came along because we weren't prepared. So this year I don't think you're going to have to say that. I think we're going to say, hey, we've played these good teams before, so we're not going to go anywhere, not be prepared. So I think it's gone well.
Something I noticed looking at your schedule, a lot of tournament games. I think there's only been like maybe a couple, 3 non-district games outside of tournaments. So is that something? Obviously, you set up the schedule, so it's something you wanted. But what's the mindset behind that and playing more tournament games and not just standalone games?
Right. So that's actually a great question because last year most of the schedule was already done when I got here. So we had 3 Tuesday games throughout the tournament season. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, high school baseball has the pitch count rules now. So I kind of felt like we were getting spread a little thin playing 4 or 5 games on the weekend after playing on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So this year I decided to go the opposite. We only played opening day, which was, the first game of the year. And now we've only played tournament games. So we're going to fill in those spots on Saturdays. So we have 4 or 5 Saturday games left, which that seems like a lot. But it'll be good to get our guys some at-bats without the pressure of, hey, winning a district championship. Obviously, we want to win every game, but being able to play, and it's going to be good teams. It's not a cakewalk on those Saturday games. I believe we have Spring Hill tomorrow. We'll get to play Tyler Legacy again. We'll go up to Pleasant Grove and play them, and then play Liberty Outlet last game of the year. So you're talking 4 quality baseball programs. So. Yeah, I mean, some people look at me crazy, but I want our guys to know what it's like to play good baseball and what it's going to take to win a state championship. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point because when you get into the playoffs, you're going to have to play teams of that caliber anyway to get to the state championship and to win state. So you might as well test yourself against them in the regular season. So I think that's a great idea. District, you mentioned you start district play tonight. You're heading down to Center to take on the Rough Riders. This district includes Hudson, Madisonville, Rusk, Center, Palestine, and Bullard. What are your thoughts overall on the district?
It's a tough one. Last year we were fortunate enough to win it. Lufkin Hudson always has good baseball, even since I was here. Tonight we go to Center, and I always tell people it doesn't matter what sport you're playing in. It doesn't matter how good or bad they are record-wise. It's always tough to win there. So Palestine last year gave us fits for 2 games. I know they had some good players. Madisonville, I mean, last year I think of those 10 games, only 2 of them were kind of out of hand. So even though we won district, it was always a dogfight. So Rusk has got a few guys that can really pitch. I know they're coached really well, so they're going to be well coached and ready to play. And, just being the defending district champs. And like you said, kids, all they talk about is what you're ranked. Social media nowadays, everybody sees everything. So we're going to get everybody's best shot, So our guys have to be prepared all 10 games. Doesn't matter what the team's record are. But, yeah, overall, it's always a good baseball district. So.
What are your thoughts? I noticed you said the kids look at all the rankings. What are your thoughts on the rankings? Because me personally, I think, it's neat to have the ranking next to your name, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean anything until you get on the field and play. But what are your thoughts?
I think for me, the rankings, for me personally, it's cool to see our sport get recognition. That's kind of how I see it. Texas high school baseball, those guys have they've done a great job on getting the rankings out there. And then, Max Preps does their own kind of rankings by scores and by strength of schedule. So yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, we all have to get in the playoffs, and once you get in the playoffs, it all evens out. But I just think for the game, it's cool. It's good for somebody to have something to talk about. Obviously, we don't have to make a regional, or we don't have to get an automatic bid anywhere. But it's cool to see people recognize your program. I mean, after all, we are a town of 2,000 people. It's not like, I know we're next to the big city of Tyler, but it's cool to see our guys just get recognized. It's fun to talk about. But yeah, we don't talk about it daily here with our guys, but yeah, it's cool just to for the parents, the fans, and the school administration, just kind of see that for our guys. So
sure, yeah, and it's a sense of pride. I mean, it's a sense of pride for the community to when they're talking at the coffee shop. Hey, our Bullard Panthers are ranked number 2. Yeah. Where's your school ranked? I didn't see your school.
Exactly. It's your old East Texas, sitting reading the newspaper, and then someday they can tell their kids, we were on the top 2. It's just good for the game and good for them. So
I agree, and I want to talk about the last year, going to the 3rd round, losing to China Spring in the 3rd round. Yep. What do you think it's going to take this year to get over that hump and get past that 3rd round and make a run down to Round Rock?
Yeah, I think I talked about this yesterday with our guys. We've gone to this round or that round the last 2 years and lost to China Spring twice, who obviously is a wonderful baseball program. And I think it's just taking, one game at a time. I mean, I think we got there last year, and I don't think we were overwhelmed. They had just played that team the year before in the same round. I think last year we just ran into a buzzsaw, man. Those guys were just hot. They were swinging the bat, and in any sport, but especially baseball, when you're playing well, it's hard to stop. So I don't think there's really 1 or 2 things you can point at for it. I think it's just going to be one of those things mentally, as long as we're prepared to play every single game. I'm of the belief if we lose in the 1st round or we lose in the state championship game, it's the same. We want to make sure we try to win that state championship. And I know a lot of parents would go, it would be great to make it, but I would like to win the whole thing, So, mentally, I don't think there's a mental block there. Obviously, I would be really surprised if China Spring getting waiting on us again. I'll be honest with you. So, yeah, I think for me, it's just, taking it one game at a time and just making sure the guys are prepared. If you're prepared, you're not going to have anxiety. You're not going to have stress about it. You're going to believe in what we do, and that's all you can ask. Because after all, they are 15 to 18-year-old kids. So
exactly, and I think that's it. Lost in all this is these are still kids that are still growing up, still learning, and all that. And to your point, to the parents saying, well, sometimes you want to make it down there. Well, if you go all the way down there, you might as well win it, right? So if you're going to go down there, let's go down there to win it. Well, before I let you get out of here, I want to ask you about the community support. Obviously, you mentioned it, a graduate of Bullard. You know how tight this community is. What's the support been like for you, your family, and then the baseball team?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Obviously, like I said, Bullard has grown. I'd be lying if I said I didn't know 95% of the people that come to games. And Obviously with the kids getting to know their families. And, I used to work for a baseball facility around here. So I've known a lot of these kids since they were 7, 8 years old, gave them lessons. And so that's really cool to kind of know them already. But yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, man, from the booster club to the administration to just all the parents. I mean, Bullard, they love their baseball. I mean, we've always loved it. But I feel like over the last 10 years, man, Bullard's really taken off, just even with talent, the Hagen Smiths of the world, and just getting a lot of publicity from that. That's always awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, Bullard's going to support their baseball. It doesn't matter if it's an alumni coaching, and for somebody they don't know, you're going to have to put your best foot forward when you coach baseball here. So I enjoy it. I've loved being here so far, and hopefully I can be here for a long time.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you taking the time and talking to us today, and best of luck to you and the Panthers on the road tonight in Center, and I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road, Coach.
Okay, sounds good, guys. Take care.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Next Level Digital Advertising has arrived. Grow your business with advanced solutions from one of the largest digital agencies in the country. East Texas Marketing Solutions is a resource for utilizing and executing advanced multi-platform marketing strategies. Discover more at easttexasmarketingsolutions.com. The NFL Draft is just over a month away, and White House's Jermod McCoy and Longview's Haynes King are both hoping to hear their names called during the 3-day event. Let's take a look at some of the notes from the Combine and see where these East Texans are projected to be drafted. Let's start with the former Wildcat Jermod McCoy. Now, McCoy tore his ACL in January of 2025 while training here in East Texas. He missed the entire 2025 season for the Volunteers, but he is still projected to be one of the top picks in the draft. Now, according to NFL.com draft analyst Lance Zierlein, McCoy's hips and feet are smooth, which allows for quick lateral transitions. Zierlein also says that McCoy is opportunistic with strong ball skills at the catch point. Now, McCoy has 16 passes defended and 6 picks in 2023 and 2024. And in the latest mock draft by NFL.com's Daniel Jeremiah and ESPN's Mel Kiper, they have the Dallas Cowboys selecting McCoy with the 12th overall pick, and that would be awesome because it would pair him up with fellow East Texan DeMarvion Overshone. Now, former Longview Lobo Haynes King is going into the draft as one of the older athletes at 25 years old. Now, at the Combine, King ran one of the fastest 40 times ever for a quarterback at a 4.46. He also had a 33.5-inch vertical jump, a 9-foot 8-inch broad jump, and ran a 4.17 in the 20-yard shuttle. Now, according to Zierlein, King is a long-legged dual-threat quarterback who displayed admirable resilience. King's talent as a runner and his mental toughness give him a chance to make it in the NFL, according to Zierlein. Now, King broke multiple records at Georgia Tech and cemented himself as one of the toughest players in the country. He finished his career with 37 rushing touchdowns. Now, King is projected as a late day 3 pick, meaning he could go in the 6th or 7th round. Now, the draft will take place in April 23rd and 25th, April 23rd through the 25th in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And just a friendly reminder to download the Red Zone app, as we will update the app with the story when these players do get drafted. The NHL playoffs are closing in as most teams have around 15 games left in the regular season. And one of the teams making a strong playoff push are the Dallas Stars. The Stars are 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. And during this stretch, the Stars have pulled themselves within 2 points of the Avalanche for not only the most points in the Western Conference, but the league. The Stars are 43-15-10 overall, while the Avalanche are 44-13-10. The Stars have 14 games left, while the Avs have 15, and the playoffs begin on April 18th. Also in the West, the Anaheim Ducks, they lead with 78 points, followed by Edmonton with 77 and Vegas with 76. And over in the Eastern Conference, the Buffalo Sabres lead the Atlantic Division with 92 points, followed by Tampa Bay with 88. And in the Metropolitan Division, Carolina leads with 92 points, followed by Pittsburgh in second with 84. Now, the Stars are playing good hockey at the best time, just as the playoffs approach. We'll have to see if they can continue this momentum into the postseason. Thanks for joining us on East Texas Sports Now. We'll catch you next time.